I realize for so many women, this is where y'all go wrong. Y'all allow a man that has not committed anything to you inside of you. Girl. Hello, beautiful people. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. I am Darla, and you are tuned into The 30 Journey. Here, I share my life lessons, experiences, and journey through my 30s with you from a faith-based perspective. And if any of that sounds interesting, you should definitely subscribe. Join the TTJRNY tribe and follow me on Instagram. All right, y'all. Let's talk. So today, I am going to be talking about the topic that you guys DM me, email me, comment me the most about, and that is abstinence and celibacy. I am giving you the tea, pros and the cons, and everything in between regarding this journey for the very last time. I'm grateful to be in the forefront of this, but I even told God, I don't want to talk about me and my non-existent sex life on camera anymore. I really am grateful, like I said, y'all, to really be in the forefront of this. I'm even more grateful to be on this journey still, praise God. But I'm gonna get more into why that is, and then also some things that are not so fun to talk about, but we must, I repeat, we must talk about this. I am also letting you know right now, I am gonna be a bit childish in this video. I'm letting you know right now, but it's all in fun. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Let's talk about idolizing this journey. I want y'all to think about something. What if I were to tell you that I don't want to do this anymore? What if I were to tell you I don't want to live on Abstinence Street and Celibacy Way anymore? I want to move. But seriously, what if I change my mind, y'all? My thing is, you should never, ever idolize this journey. You should never idolize anyone's journey. It was interesting to me how so many people, watched Devon Franklin and Megan Good and loved their story, as did I. But I knew from the very beginning never to covet anyone else's journey. Never to put people who are also human beings on a pedestal, because they are very much human and they have the free will that we all do of choice. We know that because they took the route of going public about this, that they were going to be kind of a target. Not necessarily a target in a bad way, but people are watching. We know that there are certain people that give us hope. When they go on journeys and they publicize it and they tell us about it and different things like that. And we're like, yes, praise God. But when it doesn't work out, when it doesn't go as planned, when things really are shown that they're not as they seem, we have a very hard time processing that, and we start to internalize that and make it as if that's us and our journey. You must be very mindful when you go on a journey like this that you know why you're doing this. Now, on this journey, you want people that you look up to. You want to see people that inspire you, and that's what that couple was for a lot of us. One thing, like I said, that I knew better than to do was to make them an idol and to covet their journey in any way, shape, or form. I knew not to make it seem like just because it worked for them that it would work for me. I will let y'all know that God is the biggest cock blocker of them all. There have been so many moments where I just, especially early on, where I was just literally abstaining, not abstaining until marriage. I was like, he's the one. He's the one who's gonna get it. Yep. It's gonna be you. It wasn't. And the thing about it that I realized a lot of times more than not was that God really be looking out, yo. Cause he sees what I don't see. He sees what you don't see. It's amazing to me a lot of times, literally how I realize God has my back. I know I called him a cock blocker, and I'm just kidding. But seriously, though, he really be shutting it down. He literally be like,
not on my watch.
I love that for me, because the only thing I can think about, y'all, is if I really had been abstaining, not until marriage, the amount of situations that I might have been in where I might have given in to a couple of people. And I'm just like, I'm so glad. Seriously, y'all, it's nothing like being in the protection of God. Thank you so much. I could have been like some of the women out here who were digmatized. I could have been like some of them, and y'all be keying cars, slashing tires. Who got time for that? Not me. I literally have no time to devote any of those crazy activities to men who literally have nothing but time on their hands to be great lovers. All right, let's give them that, but literally offer nothing else. I realize for so many women, this is where y'all go wrong. Y'all allow a man that has not committed anything to you inside of you. Girl, I'm just saying, I know there are men that watch this too. My thing is with the men, I don't know what abstinence looks like for y'all, but I know it empowers you and gives you a great advantage in a lot of different areas of your life, especially when it comes to discipline. So if y'all want to get something done, if y'all want to actually go on a journey to attract the right woman, discipline, self-discipline, especially regarding that part of yourself, will give you an advantage. I personally believe that. But I do know for women as receivers, sis, you don't control nothing. I'm just letting you know. That's not your lane, sis. I know we have women out here who literally think just because they had an orgasm and just because they got theirs, that they're in control of something regarding men in this aspect, but you are not. You are a receiver by nature. And y'all, I'm just gonna say, when it comes to that sexual energy, that's not something you play with. That's not the games that women of God play. And I just want y'all to know to really stop giving yourself to people that don't deserve that from you. It is too much power that you have in that. And it's not about control. It's about you knowing who you truly are as a woman. All right, let's talk about these body changes, shall we? And trust me, y'all, I'm not just talking about for women. So when I think about me abstaining now, as opposed to, let's just say, my early 30s, y'all, there have been some changes. I firmly believe that it's happening and urges are heightening as I am getting older because, for one, biologically, that's what it's said to do. But also, I firmly believe, for me personally, I can only speak for me, is I think this is a call to action. I think this is really one of those things where it's like, it is time. And also, like I said, regarding the body changes that are happening and the urges that are happening and the things that are happening, it is extremely important for me to continue to move forward in what it is that I know I want the most. What does this look like for me? So as I continue to age and get older, I realize that, baby, hey, when I'm ovulating, my body is like, what we doing? That's literally what my body says. It says that. Then I have to take the punches in my stomach from the inside out, basically because my girl parts are really very upset that we are yet again not making any babies. Right, let me be serious. There are changes that happen, especially for women. Our libidos go through the roof. We talk about women's biological clocks, but we don't talk about men. And I know they don't have biological clocks, but they do have things that they need to be thinking about as well. What I find very interesting, and I am going to be a little petty in this part. I'm not going to be too petty though, but I am going to be a little petty. I realize that a lot of men are not talking about a lot of the problems that they are actually having regarding the intercourse. I know that, so many men think that they are the warrior, the stallion, all of these things regarding the intercourse. But what I realize is that time is not that kind to a lot of them either. What I find a lot of times regarding men is they don't talk about this thing called ED. What I'm grateful for are the friends that I have. I recently had a conversation with a friend, and he basically told me that one of the things that he has conversations with men about, because he is a barber, so this is barbershop talk, is them not being as great as they like to say and like to try to make it seem like they are in the bedroom, especially as they age. What I've realized is that a lot of men who have no dick discipline, I'm just going to call it what it is, earlier on in life suffer a little bit later on in life. So even though they talk a lot about being very handsome and they become very desirable as they age, that's cute, but what are your other parts of your body doing? Are they still working? Are they still operating as needed? are they still even able to start up? It's a lot of that that's not being said, and I really wish more of it was, because this, ladies, is really what's happening. I'm just telling you, I'm hearing things because, again, I live in the real world and I have real conversations. Thank you, Jesus, for honest people. I wish more men were honest about what's really happening, because like I said, a lot of times they will express, oh, as we get older, we become more desirable and all of these different things and stuff of that nature. Some of you, yes, you do. But if you have waited until later on in life to marry and have kids, there are things that you need to be worrying about as well. As far as carrying children and bringing life into this world, for women to be scrutinized throughout this part of their lives is crazy to me. But again, I say it's interesting that men are not talking enough about the part that they play in this and what usually happens to them. So I'm not going to come for men. But I am going to say that I think it's important for y'all to incorporate some type of discipline, sexual discipline in your lives sooner rather than later, because later usually ends up having you paying for it. But I think that is something that should be stated and should be said, because there is something also that happens with men, is that they start to wake up and realize the part that they play in a lot of their decisions and things that happen regarding consequences as they age. Women usually learn these lessons sooner, not always, but I think a lot of us do. And for men, it's usually later on in life. And if we're looking at the dynamic regarding marriages and relationships kind of changing, and more people kind of getting married and together a little bit later on in life than earlier, we have to start making decisions, or better decisions, sooner to be able to better prepare. So again, when we think about body changes, it's not just about women and our libidos going up. We have to think about the fact that men's usually starts coming down. That testosterone and the hormones that live within your body, sir, are playing a part on you as well. And this is important, and it does tie into this video, and I thought it was very important for me to say, when you think about abstaining, especially being in this decade of life and even just later in life, you got to incorporate and think about all of this stuff, y'all. Like, this is biology we're talking about. Granted, God is who he is. So divine intervention and divine timing are a very real thing, which is why I believe, for me personally and where I am on my journey, it's a call to action. It's a call to get some action. And I'm allowing myself to continue, like I said, to go on this journey, to follow that. Another thing that I want to say to y'all is the fact that, I hear in a lot of conversation regarding people who abstain and who, identify as being celibate, is that they get a lot of scrutiny and ridicule for this. Here's the thing that I never understood when I have this conversation with people. When there are people that basically talk about, like, why are you doing this? Like, this isn't natural. This isn't what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be adhering to your body and what it's wanting and things like that. I've said this before and I'll say it again. When it comes to discipline, I kid you not, it always baffles me that when it comes to sexual discipline, it's like, that's not how that's supposed to go. As if everything in our lives does not require some level of discipline. If I eat the wrong thing or either too much of the wrong thing, what will it do to my body? If I overdose on scrolling online and being on my phone for excessive amounts of time, what is that doing, especially over time? I kid you not. It's just like I'm watching the amount of people go through foolishness in their lives and really thinking that them not being disciplined regarding their bodies and who they're giving their bodies to and that energy to has nothing to do with the chaos that's going on in their lives. No judgment, but I also want to say this. It's always interesting, again, when I have conversations and I see conversations about the intercourse and people talk about, like, I got to test it out. I got to see if, that's the one that I could be, sexually blah, blah, blah with. It's another one of those things where I'm just like, come on, y'all. Seriously.
This camera on me?
Yes, it's on.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
So here's my thoughts on this. It's interesting to me how people put the intercourse all the way up here, y'all. When we talk and have that conversation about the things that are important in a relationship, in a marriage, that comes all the way up here. But what I have never found is that thing that's all the way up here being the thing that saves the marriage, the thing that saves the relationship at the end of the day. I've never seen it, but it's this important. I'm just saying, feel free to tell me otherwise in the comments, but I've never seen the intercourse save a relationship. Granted, we could talk about all day how this person was this and they did this and all of this other stuff, but again, something that's all the way up here, you would think that would be the thing that saves the relationship, but it never is. So when we place that all the way up here as that much of an importance within it, the math ain't mathing. The math is not mathing. That just allows me to know that even though it is extremely important, let's be very clear about that, but under the guise of God, in my personal opinion, it was never meant to be the thing that's all the way up here, because we're really only supposed to be having it with one person. When I think about people who put it all the way up here, it's people who has had multiple partners that they have had multiple experiences with, and now they're comparing their experiences with the person that they're with, whether they're in a relationship or a marriage, and now they're left unsatisfied. When I think about intimacy, and I talked to y'all about this already, I think about growing with a person, allowing myself to be patient with them when it comes to learning each other. And this is where, again, this conversation gets very muddy, and I really just I don't connect. I do not. Because I see a lot of people being extremely selfish. I see a lot of people being very overly sexualized, because they have allowed themselves to go into these spaces and places that have them comparing so many things and experiences that they've had with other people, seen in porn, let's be real, and all of these different things, and not allowing themselves to fully experience something greater with a person that they're with. What I also want to say about this, and I'm going to keep it all the way a buck, y'all. When I think about intimacy for me and my partner, I think about going places that a lot of people don't really go. I think that there are more ways to connect than just what we have seen, what we have experienced, what gets her done. I think that there are many erogenous zones all over the body. I think that there are a lot of pressure points and things that we don't know about. Like, I just think about the fact that, like, chiropractors are a thing. Who thought about, like, the fact that I could crack bones in your body in this way and make you feel like $1 million in 2 days? Who thinks about stuff like that? That's what I'm saying. Like, there are so many things in the body that I believe have yet to be explored. I firmly believe that there's nothing new under the sun, but I do think that there are things that are overlooked. Y'all, when it comes to really allowing yourself to explore with your partner and growing in that space of intimacy, that's what this is all about. Like I told y'all, I talk to God about everything. And when it comes down to really just allowing yourself to be free with the person that you're supposed to be free with, I could only imagine really going on that journey of being intimate with someone and then being able to go the extra mile with them regarding the intercourse and what that would look like within a marriage. That's something beautiful, in my opinion, to wait for and to honestly look forward to. The number one question that I get on this journey is, do you get urges? I think we've covered that, guys. I have many of days, mainly nights, where I have really been, and I want y'all to know 2 things. I am not encouraging station, but I am encouraging you aligning yourself with the word of God. I know this sounds very, very cliche, but please hear me out. The word really talks a lot about having authority over our own bodies. Like, a lot of the things that we give into, we do it because we want to give into it. Like, it's not because we don't have authority to cast it out, because we do. I realize that I am very weak in certain areas, even though I've been very strong in others. And when I think about, the things that I'm weaker in, I know that I need something to supplement on my behalf. I need help. It's a growing process. It's a journey with God. Like, he knows that we struggle in this area. So what I want to say regarding the urges that I personally do a lot of times, Lord, if you don't want me to do this tonight, I'm going to need you to just go ahead on and put me to sleep. Because if it's not meant for me to do this, then don't let me do this, please. I know it sounds like a very simple ratchet prayer, but it is what it is. That's me, again, with my authentic relationship with God regarding certain things. Because I know you brought me this far for a reason. And I'm telling you, like, this is something that feels outside of my control, even though I know it's not. And we have to be able to really stand firm in knowing that we have authority over a lot of the things that we give into. But again, casting your cares and the things that feel beyond your control onto God, give it. And at the end of the day, some days will be easier than others because you have grown in your faith and your strength. And that's just what happens over time. I also live in grace. So there's that as well. And I want to make sure I make that known to y'all. I am not perfect in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not going to pretend to be. There was something that I heard. And someone basically said, sin is sweet to someone who has never really tasted peace. It went something like that. And I was like, I agree. What I love about my journey the most, y'all, is the authenticity that's in it. And me really going to God and praying about a lot of things that I see and that I don't see. I have to be honest and say that I know that there are people watching this that are struggling with porn addictions and people that are struggling with a lot of different things that are outside or feel outside of their character, but they can't even really fully let go of. Things that, you can't talk to your friends about or talk to, somebody about because it's so embarrassing to the point where you're ashamed of it. And sometimes it takes submitting it and taking it a day at a time. I love that so many of you all connected with me with sharing this journey and allowing yourself to really be honest about the things that you're going through, that you may be struggling with, that you want to get better in. And I'm so grateful that so many of my videos on this particular topic have blessed so many of you. I hope within sharing my truth, it made you laugh a little. It made you feel not alone on this journey and allowed you to really know that it can start at any time. I really hope, especially for the women, I hope you really got something out of this. And for y'all who have asked me, a lot of different questions, hope I was able to answer a lot of them for y'all. FYI, y'all, I won't be talking about this again until after I do the do and go the go. That'll be the next time I might come to y'all in some way, shape, or form with an update or whatever. So that's kind of where I am with that. But I hope, again, this has blessed you on your journey thus far. If it has, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. It allows people to know that there's so much value in this video. Also, if you are not subscribed, make sure you do that as well. Again, y'all, I have videos all over my channel about this, so make sure you check those out if you would like, because I go deep in all of them. So thank you again for those that have seen them, supported them, and I appreciate you so much. Before I go, gotta remind y'all, like always, don't just live a manifested life. Live a blessed life. Peace.